Hello and welcome back to Out of Timeouts Season 2, basically our little summer season over Zoom, our remote season. Welcome back, boys. We took a week off, but we are back here on Out of Timeouts. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing great. I think we're becoming the first Blaze Radio show to ever be recorded across three different time zones.
I
Yeah,
think that's
So
completely
we're so
true.
we're making history today, and that's all you can ask for. So it's a good day to be out of timeouts. You know what I'm
I
yeah, we're
totally
filming
agree.
saying? Yeah.
10:18 Eastern, 9:18 Central, and 8:18 Mountain Time. Pretty
I know.
cool.
I know. I get the worst of it because you guys got me here recording, this episode at 10 at night,
I,
but it's
I,
okay.
I let the record reflect. Xavier suggested the time. For,
That
He
is
did.
true. I did have a busy day today, but I'm committed to the love of the game.
yeah,
Committed to the love of the game. All right, should we get it up and rolling? Kick it off in the
let's
first
get
quarter.
started. Who's timing
I'm
things?
ready.
You got
I
it.
have time
Okay.
things every time, Wesley. You know
Yeah.
that.
What?
My fault.
Yeah, shaking the rust off over there in
I
Illinois.
guess so. It's been 2 weeks.
All right, first quarter starts now.
All right, we're kicking it off in the first quarter with the association. I have, one of the playoff games going on right now to my left with Knicks Cavs, and then we had OKC Spurs tied at 1-1. Let's just start with OKC and the Spurs. Spurs took game one, and then last night, Oklahoma City took game two. What are you guys' kind of thoughts on the series so far?
I think it's been amazing. I think it's the two best teams in the league. It kind of
Yeah,
reminds me of watching the Seahawks and the Rams in the NFC Championship a little bit, in the sense that I think whoever wins this is going to kind of cruise in the NBA Finals against either the Knicks or the Cavs.
right.
Um, and I the Spurs. The, Stephon Castle is such an interesting case because I've never seen a guy that turns the ball over so much, but then when he's not turning the ball over, he just dominates. It's like I don't I don't know
Andre
what to.
Curbelo.
Yeah, kind of like Andre Curbelo in Illinois. Yes, Wesley. Yes. But I don't know what to think just because the Thunder defense is so good, and it's at some point you're gonna have to stop turning it over 20 plus times a game. That's not reliable. You're only gonna win like two games max with that formula.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not gonna work against a team like Oklahoma City in the long term.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree that this is basically the finals, but I'm here to tell you that the Thunder are absolutely going to win this series. I know it was a great first two couple of games, but Thunder in six is my prediction. I still think they're the far better team, even though Spurs got them a few times during the regular season.
I was gonna say, I remember I came out and said that, a couple weeks, probably a month or so ago back, that because, the Spurs had really dominating the Thunder in the regular season, I remember coming out and saying that the Spurs would win this playoff series.
Yeah,
And
so I was
I think game one was a reflection of that. It was like you can't stop Wemby. Wemby was great in that game. He kind of just took over the game completely. And there's not really, I mean, I don't know if there is anyone to stop him on any team. He's kind of more, you just have to slow him down as best you can, but he is kind of becoming unguardable in a way, I
Hmm.
think. So I think if he continues to play like he did in game one, I think it's going to be a very good series. I think it will go seven, much to the opposition of West. I don't think this is going to go six. I think it's going to go seven. But I don't know. I think it'll be a good series no matter what. Like there was, some antics yesterday in terms of referees. But I kind of have a personal bias against the Oklahoma City Thunder and how they play the game of basketball. So that's me. But
a couple of things. First, I think with that game
please,
one, what? Yeah. Okay, so with the game one, I think the Spurs played the best game they could have possibly played,
Yeah.
mm,
and two
Mhm.
overtimes to beat them.
true.
I mean, Thunder had Alex Caruso on Wemby, and they took him to two overtimes.
Yeah.
So that's what gives me more confidence in the Thunder. And on Xavier's point, it's getting really annoying. The whole NBA community just complaining after every single game about Shea foul baiting. Like it is a part of his game that he flops sometimes, but you don't hear that about LeBron every time the
Mhm.
Lakers have a game. Like
Yeah.
he's a star and he draws a lot of fouls, he drives a lot and draws fouls, and sometimes he flops, but that's also just a thing across the NBA.
I
Yeah, I'm with Wes on
agree.
that. I'm with Wes on that one wholeheartedly. I mean, you see this everywhere, and the Thunder are just the best at it.
Yeah.
I agree.
You know, like
It
that's
is
just the way
definitely
it's going to be, just because they're it's so much better at it than everybody else. I still
right.
think the Spurs are going to win the series. I took them to win the finals at the beginning of the playoffs, but I like what Wesley said. Is like it feels like they're not going to be able to maintain the way that they played in game one once it gets to like 5 and 6 and you get down to the nitty gritty of this series. You know what I mean?
Right. And I will just say quickly on that kind of point, like, with the Thunder, like, yes, it is a narrative for sure. Like that, I don't know more so if it's more the media, the fans. I mean, it's more the fans that kind of push it, like, fans of the game.
I
But I
think the
will
media
say,
though leans into it because they get
Yeah,
engagement if they post anything related
definitely.
to Shea
absolutely.
foul baiting.
Oh, definitely. Like it's one of those things that like a post is going to do well, a tweet's going to do well. And kind of off that, I remember waking up this morning and it was a House of Highlights tweet that showed every Shea shot in the game and every single shot he fell down on. Seriously, look it up. I'm serious.
I
Like
saw a post from the Onion about like Shea
Oh,
trying to
he
draw
was trying to
foul.
draw a foul on a free throw. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that.
like I think there's a point between where it's like too much with, foul baiting and it's just like, okay, play the game, like take some contact. And then there's a point where it's like, okay, they're good at it. I think it's starting to go towards like, just like play through it. Like it's more so Shea for me, but that's my personal opinion. So, but
I mean, I
Oh,
think
I don't
there's
know
a
why this should be the Thunder's problem.
yeah. I think
They found a loophole and they use it to the best of their abilities, and they won a title, and they're working on winning another one.
I
And now we're
agree.
all telling them to play with some different type of basketball. No, don't do that. You're
yeah.
gonna
Sure.
maybe go back to back. Like, don't change what you're doing just because some guy in Massachusetts wants you to. Like, they're not gonna do that. That's just not how it works.
Well, I,
They
I will
they
say
found
like,
like a gray area almost, and they're really
right.
good at drawing fouls.
I will say as well, like I should have kind of recognized this or acknowledged this, but also part of this kind of problem, if you will, is partly with how the game is managed by the refs, how, like just general management in the NBA is kind of managing the situation. Like if you want to call the refs, like harder and don't give them as many fouls, and that's on the refs. That's not how I guess OKC is playing. It just kind of comes off as a reflection of them. You know what I mean?
I mean, I
Hmm.
think there's a fine line between gamesmanship and unfairness,
Hmm.
but the NBA has crossed that line 25 years ago, you know? And so I don't think it's fair to just sit here and say the Thunder are the devil. Like, there's got to
Hmm.
be a
Yeah,
change
absolutely.
across the NBA.
Yeah. Well,
Sonics will be up
anyway,
2-0.
the
Uh,
Sonics would be up
they would be.
2-0. Maybe we'll see the Sonics up 2-0 in 2 years.
Yeah. You want to head over to the East?
I was going to say, let's head
Yeah.
over to East. We got Knicks Cavs going on right now. It is currently 99-85 with 4:30. Knicks leading, that is, with 4:30 left. And I mean, to me, like both of these first games are really just, of course, the Cavs are up big in game one and then they choked. But it's kind of, as a Celtics fan, I don't want to see the Knicks win personally. But the Knicks look good. The Knicks look really good, and they're just kind of a team that isn't backing away.
Yeah, I here's my thing. It's like I've been supporting the Cavs through their entire playoff run just because they have, Donovan Mitchell, who's like the guy that got me in the NBA basketball. They have Donovan Mitchell on their team, among others. James Harden, obviously, we all know that connection. But man, when you blow a 22-point lead in game one on the road and you let the home team steal one on their home court, like that never happens. And that's just a killer. And it almost made today feel like a must win. It's just like you got to get one on the road if you're going to take a 22-point lead with under 7 minutes left. Like you have to come out of there
Yeah.
with something, and it looks like they're not going to come out there with anything.
I mean, mentally, it's just a backbreaker to blow that kind
Yeah,
of lead. Thought
Yeah.
if you get 1 or 2 on the road, it's probably advantage you because you got more home games coming up than your opponent does. But you go down 2-0 and you're really in a hole and you're just feeling like, man, we really should have gotten that first game.
Yeah,
no,
I mean, I totally agree with what you guys said. Just I'll kind of echo it, but like that is just a momentum killer. You think, what they were up, 22 with 7 minutes left? I think it was
yeah,
something like that.
it was
But
22.
yeah, you're up 22. You feel like you're gonna win game one, like, and now you're down 0-1, and all the momentum is in the Knicks' favor, and they're about to win game two as well. Like, it is tough. Like, it could have been a 1-1 series after 2 games. It could have been a 2-0 series in favor of
30
Cleveland, but now
seconds.
they're going to be down 0-2 now.
Yeah, Kenny Atkinson, maybe this was him and his entire coaching staff. Maybe this is just because the Cavs defense is missing rotation. Josh Hart has been open for three about a million times in this game. And like, yes, he's not the best 3-point shooter in the world, and he's not the best 3-point shooter on that team, but he's still an NBA player that can hit threes at a pretty high rate because he's a professional
Right.
basketball player. And he was 4 for 9 from three at one point. What is he now? He's 5 for 11. Like, you're not going to win a lot of games when you're leaving a dude open and he's shooting 45% from three.
Right. I totally agree.
No. Sorry, bled out our time there. My fault.
You're good.
That's perfect. Good buzzer beater. That's how I teach it.
All right. Yeah, that is how I teach it. All right, second quarter starts now.
Second quarter, we are heading over to the other playoffs currently going on into the NHL. So, I mean, we can start with a couple of different things. Again, Wes kind of is not super in tune with the NHL, but
I
he,
got
he,
something
has,
to
he
say.
does have a couple of takes.
All
Look,
right, hockey with Wesley. Here we go.
I can't claim to know much about the Canadians and Kane series, but I just want to claim right here, right now, that the Golden Knights are going to beat the Avalanche. I mean,
No.
how
Oh my
about
goodness.
yes, how about Vegas going to Denver and taking game one 4-2? They've got just got the mojo. And I'm definitely going off vibes because I don't know hockey well enough to
Yeah.
go any more in any more depth than that. But I see an upset here.
If I was looking through your lenses at this series, I think I would agree with you in the sense that,
Yeah.
like, this is fun. And I would also probably take Vegas to win if I was in Wesley's shoes. But I don't think Wesley's ever watched Cale Makar play hockey. And I don't think, it's impossible for him to understand how integral he is to that team.
I've
And
watched Michael play hockey.
yeah, he's good. He's pretty good. Uh, but Colorado, I don't want to make this sound severe, but they look like a skeleton of themselves without Cale Makar. And
Yeah.
if you ever watch Colorado, especially in the playoffs, they run everything out of the point with Cale Makar. It's just like there was a series Avalanche Kraken a few years ago. It's the only time Kraken have ever made the playoffs. And Cale Makar had the puck behind the net probably 40 times a game. And it was annoying how much he had it back there, but that's just because he was able to do so much, regardless of how little options he had in a given moment, or maybe he had like the easiest pass ever. Who knows? He was still able to do it. And without him, it just didn't look right for Colorado. But once he's back, I feel like they'll be a brand new team, and they should still win this series.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. Like, unfortunately, I do have to agree with Wes, or disagree with Wes, excuse me.
Yes.
No. Disagree with Wes.
You know where your heart is. It's okay.
No. I mean, I just think there's not really a world that I see that Vegas beats Colorado. Colorado's been the best team all year.
Well,
They
2 days
have
ago.
in a series, Wes, in a series. But they have 2 top 5 players in the league. Cale Makar, I don't think it's really debatable as the best defenseman in the league. And
Yeah.
McKinnon just had one of the best offensive seasons in the league. Like, that team is stacked. Mackenzie Blackwood even, between the pipes for them also just had a great year. I think his, goals against was something low, like 2.5, I want to say. I can fact check that. But point being, this Colorado Avalanche team is very good. And you make a great point how, they kind of run everything through Makar. So it does, kind of play an integral role when he's not playing, when he's not in the game. So I think I don't think this is going to be an easy series just because Vegas has been playing awesome. You have guys like Jack Eichel, as Wes mentioned, and then, Mitch Marner looks like a new man. He finally gets away from the curse of the Maple Leafs, and now he looks like I don't know, prime Connor McDavid. I wouldn't go that far, but Mitch Marner looks great. Like
I just
he's
remember,
doing, yeah.
I have a random story to tell. So my friends and I were golfing yesterday, and my friend found one of those, no, one of those golf balls that's like a soccer ball, but it was
Okay.
Avalanche logos.
Hmm.
In Normal, Illinois, there was a Colorado Avalanche golf ball on the course.
Maybe it's a sign,
Yeah,
Wes. Maybe it's a
it's a
sign.
sign. It's a sign. I thought it was a sign that they were gonna kill the Golden Knights, and then they took game one. So it's a sign the other way. It's a jinx.
No, I think it's a sign. I think Colorado will win this series, and I think on the other side of things, I think the Hurricanes will win this series. Again, they're not having a good game one. If you haven't checked in on the score, it's currently 5-2 Canadians last time I checked. Yeah, still 5-2 in favor of the Canadians. But just kind of finishing that up, Colorado is too good of a team to lose to Vegas. Not that Vegas isn't good, but this Colorado team is miles better.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
All right, man.
all right,
There you go.
sorry.
A mile high better than them, if you will.
A mile above.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Can we go over to the East?
We
I
can.
want to talk about this one more.
Yeah.
Okay. I've had Avalanche Canadiens as my Stanley Cup final since the start, and I really do think Montreal's going to win this series. And
Wow.
they're off to a good start. They had 4 goals in the first period, right? They've already got another in the second, and obviously, it's a myth. But the whole expression is that it's hard to beat a team 3 times in one season, and Montreal went 3-0 against Carolina in the regular season.
That's
So,
a gambler's,
clearly they've
gambler's
got,
fallacy that I buy into.
yeah, exactly. Clearly they've got something against this Hurricanes team, and now you're seeing it right now in Raleigh. They're just seemingly just scoring at will on Carolina. And what did they have? They had 7 goals in a game against Carolina. They had 5 goals in a game against Carolina earlier this year. They might just have this team's number.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree. Something that is kind of a weakness of all the teams in this playoffs remaining is that there's not really a standout goalie. And I don't think Frederik Andersen for the Hurricanes is that either. Like, don't get me wrong, Frederik Andersen used to be pretty good, but he's getting older now. He's, not what he used to be. And just in general, I think it's an interesting point because the Canes have been so good this playoffs. And of course, I will say they haven't played really great competition. They played the Flyers, and then they played, oh God, who'd they play in the second round? Remind me.
Well, the Hurricanes played the Flyers in the second round.
Yeah. They played Flyers in the second round, Senators in the first. Yeah. So they had 2 pretty easy matchups, I will say. And then, of course, they have a long break before this Canadiens game 1, which probably doesn't help all the time in hockey, kind of being, not skating against another team, all of that. But I think they'll bounce back. Personally, I think it's kind of the same situation. I think this Hurricanes team has been playing too good, as of recently and in the playoffs in general to lose to this Canadiens team. I don't think the Canadiens are all that good. I think they are good. Don't get me wrong.
They're in the Eastern Conference Finals.
I agree. They're a very good team, but they don't just have someone who can totally flip the game on its head in my mind. They have some guys who are really, really good players, like Cole Caulfield, guys like those. But, on the other side of things, you've Sebastian Aho. There's some great players on that Carolina team, but I don't know. I think it will be a good series. I personally would have liked to see, kind of the speed of the Sabres against Carolina as well, because both those teams play really, really fast. So I thought that would have been a really fun series to see. But of course, Canadians got the best of them in game 7 overtime, which we didn't talk about. But it was a really interesting goal. I don't know if you saw it, Angus. I'm sure you did.
Oh, yeah.
But, it should have been one that the goalie should have got, in my opinion. It was
Oh yeah,
Luke,
I
I
mean,
believe.
yeah, it was from that left wing, and like sometimes
Yeah,
that can be an alley that's tough to see, but it was a weird case where there wasn't really anyone or anything standing between the shooter and the goalie. Usually in that scenario, there'd be like two, maybe even three guys in the way. And if it
right.
just gets through traffic, that's tough. There wasn't really any obstruction to the puck. He had a pretty clear shot at it and just like zipped right by him. So
I was
I
gonna
don't know.
say
You
like
gotta do what you gotta do, and they
right.
got a break there.
Right. I mean, sometimes, it's as unfortunate as it may be, but sometimes hockey is such a game of luck and such a game of breaks. Like, you just need to get a good break. Sometimes, like, I think for a split second, maybe when he was about to shoot, there was a little bit of a moving screen there in front of the net. It might not have really affected him, but he just
Mm.
looked
Is that a rule
half
in
a second
hockey?
off. No, like
They,
rather just like
Oh,
the guy was moving across the net.
oh.
no,
Um, and
no,
blocked the goalie's
they wouldn't have
vision.
like whistled that. You know what I mean? Like as long as he's not in the crease,
That way.
he should be fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
keep
exactly.
going that
That way.
way.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I think both of these series will be great. Like, playoff hockey is just on another level. I feel like when you get to kind of, the later rounds as well, the series just keep getting better. Like any playoffs, I would say as well. But I don't know. I think it's a really good matchup. But if you were to ask me, Carolina versus Colorado is my Stanley Cup pick.
Yeah, I mean, it's chalk, but it's
Sure.
justified chalk. You know what I mean? They've been the two best teams probably in NHL all year, so it's
Yeah.
perfectly reasonable.
Vegas over Carolina. Give it to me right now.
I
Vegas
will.
over Carolina,
Yep.
Wow. I will
couldn't be
say,
wronger.
we did all think that Carolina was going to choke, coming into the NHL playoffs.
That's true. And
So
they're 8-0.
they
So
they surprised me on that front. They're 8-0, about to be 8-1, but
mm,
8-1 is still very, very good. So,
yeah.
but they surprised me for sure. Didn't think they had it in them to kind of make a really good playoff run, and here we
Okay,
are.
okay, hey, easy there. Don't overstay your welcome here.
Was that
You're
time?
cutting it close.
Was
Yeah.
that
Oh,
time?
did you not hear it?
Oh, I didn't even hear
Yeah.
it. I'm so
Hey,
sorry.
we'll nix that warning, but just know.
I didn't even hear it. I didn't get a warning or anything.
So that's timekeeper's mistake. Question of the week: is it me?
I don't
It says
know.
it on the dock.
I thought it said Angus on the dock. I just figured it was you.
Could have been from a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, I'll figure something out.
Get on the spot. Let's see. Whoever comes up with something
in
first.
in the remote setting here.
Okay. Oh wait, no, I have it. I have
Okay.
Great.
All right.
Look at that.
Okay, this is going to be a little weird, but believe it or not, just brace yourself, fellas. It involves college basketball.
Okay.
So I saw a video the other day, and it was talking about our question of the week, actually, which is if Victor Wembanyama were to play college basketball, where would he have gone?
Oh. Oh, I'm out. I need some time to think about this. I need one of you
Okay,
two to go first.
yeah,
Give me some
go for it.
ideas.
So
Probably. You go ahead.
I'll go first. So the take that I saw, it was from Ryan Hammer, and he said Gonzaga just because the international recruiting that Mark Few does, and this was the years that they had like Chet and Ryan Nemhard and a bunch of dogs in Spokane, and that would have been cool. But I don't think that's where he would have gone. I think I don't know. It seems like a lot of those international guys, especially the best ones, just the brand recognition of Duke is sometimes too much to pass up. And I
That's
feel
what I
like
was
he
going
would
to
have been
say.
a perfect fit. So I would say that Victor Wembanyama would have gone to Duke.
That was my answer also.
Mhm.
Uh, Xavier, are you going to sit this one out entirely?
No, no. I am.
Okay.
I'm getting an assist from Google. I will say. So
Oh
I'm getting
no.
a little
No, do
alley oop.
whatever you need.
I have to think
You have
about
been set
I have to
up for
think about my
failure.
answer. How about Louisville? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I
they
can.
probably
I
pay
can
him
go
like
if.
That's what,
$10 gazillion to go
that's what
play
I was
there.
I
thinking.
can. I
Yeah,
can go if you want.
yeah,
So here,
you're
I'll
on the
go. Yeah.
show.
Um, well, I didn't know if Wes wanted to go, but I'll go and then Wes can go. But I know he kind of said Duke as well. I do agree that Duke is like, kind of the name in college basketball. Like that's the program you want to be at. There's so many NBA guys from there: Zion Williamson, Jason Tatum. The list goes on. But
Oh, Jason
Oh,
Tatum, really?
I
Really?
just slip it in there. I had
I
to
didn't
put
think
it in there
who that
somehow.
was.
Anyway, um, the approach that I kind of went for was I literally typed in my search bar right in front of me. I said, what colleges for basketball are best at outputting NBA centers?"
Mhm.
So
I have a
the
guess. I
top
think I think
one,
I know what it told you.
Would be
the
mad
top
if
one it says up there is Kentucky.
Yeah, yeah.
So with
I,
Anthony Davis, Carl Anthony Towns, so I am gonna say Kentucky,
yeah.
because
Arkansas.
apparent Arkansas. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, let's see if it mentioned it.
He
It did
doesn't
not
get it.
mention
He
it.
does. He
I
doesn't get
don't.
it.
No, I
He's not
don't.
good. John Calipari.
The
Oh,
coach at Kentucky that coached all those guys is at Arkansas now, and his
I
whole
see.
thing is that he doesn't care how long you'll be in college. He just will have you for 1 year and then you'll go to the NBA. But sometimes it works.
Fair enough. Well, then I'll say Arkansas/Kentucky.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that coach moved there. So,
No,
but
I'm going to be honest. I thought Google was going to tell you Purdue just because if you look back in the past 5 years, maybe you can even go further than that with guys like, Isaac Haas, and Matt Harms. For those of you that remember Matt Harms on the
I
show.
love Matt Arms, which is weird because I don't like Purdue.
Yeah. Um, but Purdue has been a great landing spot for weird, awkward, tall guys. And they've all thrived under Matt Painter. And
I still think
Victor
Kentucky
Wembanyama
has much
is
bigger names.
the weird, awkward, tall guy.
bro,
And
what was the guy's
I think
name?
Purdue would have worked out.
What was the guy's name? Oh, Zach Edey. He was
Yeah,
Purdue, right?
Yeah.
he was.
Where is he now? Memphis? Is that
Yeah,
right?
he's on the Grizzlies.
Oh, look at me. What a snipe.
Are you still going or is
I
that your
mean,
phone still?
I don't have, yeah, that's about the extent of my ball knowledge.
Kind of a lame question of the week for me.
No,
Sorry, fellas.
I think it's cool. It's
No,
interesting.
I like it as well. It's interesting.
Angus said Duke, which was my answer also, but I'm gonna stick in that neck of the woods and go with UNC.
Hmm.
They've like Duke, they've got the brand recognition, and I also just think with Mike Malone, I mean, do we have to go with like the time he would have been in college, or can we just talk
I
about?
I mean, he would have been in the 22 recruiting cycle, something like that. I
Yeah,
feel like you kind of
that
have to
was
go
my
like
answer.
we have to imagine that Hubert Davis is the head coach at North Carolina,
Okay,
which
no,
is a lot
okay, never mind.
different.
Never mind. Um, well, well, this at the same time though, in 22, NIL was not as rampant as it is now,
Mm.
so
True.
maybe that was such a factor. I I don't know. Duke and Kentucky are two really good answers. Um, and Purdue's probably the other one. Painter coaching so many big guys.
UConn even.
Yeah, UConn's a good one too.
And Victor Wembanyama and Bobby Hurley, or sorry, Dan Hurley.
That'd be a duo.
Not Bobby, not Bobby. He would
Not
not
Bobby
go to
Hurley.
Arizona
No,
State.
Bobby.
He could come to Arizona State. They have that kind of international appeal at center like they had with Jop before he left. But
I
Sure,
think
it's international.
true. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
True.
Santi Truitt can hoop.
basically as
Grandpa.
hyped of a prospect as Wembanyama.
Yeah, I would agree. Santi Stewart and Wembanyama are very comparable in my eyes. We're kidding.
I
Santi
mean,
Stewart
Angus, though,
is.
are you saying that Wemby wouldn't want somebody as intense as Hurley?
I feel like he did love that. Like
I feel like you would too.
if I don't know if you guys have seen this video, but it's Wemby doing his pregame routine for the All Star game,
Hmm.
and all the other guys are laughing at him. And then if you watched the All Star game, he's out there just hooping, and everyone
Mm.
else is like going 60%. But he did make the All Star game better. And when you look at that side of Wemby, like clearly he's an intense guy. He's an emotional guy too. It feels like him and Dan Hurley would actually be a pretty good fit. It's
Yeah.
just that it's such a funny combination. because you wouldn't put those two guys together at all. But
Sure.
I don't know. I feel like it would kind of work.
Yeah.
You know something that I recently learned about Wemby as well? Um, Recently I found on Twitter, it was kind of a video explaining this that there's like kind of extra history in this past between Chet Holmgren and
Yeah,
Wembanyama. There was some probably youth showcase, something like that, right?
yeah.
And Chet
It,
Holmgren
it
got an
was a
award,
FIBA.
like
It was a FIBA tournament,
yeah, correct, something,
like
yeah, okay,
U19 or something.
yeah. So that it was a FIBA tournament, as you said, but they Chet Holmgren got some award, like was honored as like one of the best players in the tournament, probably the MVP of the tournament, if I had to guess. I don't know the super specifics, so I'm kind of just taking an educated guess, if you will. But Wemby then was also in that tournament, maybe use that as motivation. There's kind of that rivalry between Chet Holmgren and Wembanyama because of that, they're both international players, stuff like that. So maybe there's a little bit of a rivalry between them.
Yeah. I
Chet
got another.
Holmgren's not international. Chet Holmgren's from Minnesota.
I was gonna say, I just realized that as I said that, but
Yeah.
Okay, I got another one to throw out there, and you guys can start booing me now.
no,
But
no,
I think Arizona
No.
could have been a decent
Oh,
fit.
okay. I thought you were gonna say Illinois.
no.
Yeah,
What, Illinois?
Arizona would have made sense.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, Arizona could have made sense.
Tommy Lloyd has a his. I mean, Lloyd was like the one who made international recruiting cool back in the day, I feel like.
Yeah.
And a comp I think about, and he's not as tall or as much of a freak, but is Lowry Markkinen, who went to
Mm.
Arizona, an
Yeah.
international guy who was 7 foot and could stretch the floor. Kind of
Mm.
similar situation there,
Lowry
Yeah.
Markin went to Arizona.
Yep. He sure
unfortunately.
did.
I did not know that.
He was damn good at Arizona too.
Wow, I did not know that.
Um,
Yeah.
Fair enough.
yeah. All
All
right.
right,
What
shall we get into
Oh,
the third quarter?
Yeah. Third quarter
Okay.
starts now.
All right, heading on to the MLB, or as well, Wes gets mad at,
oh,
and well, Wes and Angus get mad at when I say it that way. Let's head over
is
to MLB,
we're
Major
gonna
League
go to
Baseball.
the Major League Baseball.
All right, sorry. Anyway, Wes, you have a little note here on our doc. Do you want to kick us off, and then we'll
Yeah,
go from there?
I'm gonna try not to make this too much of a prolix rant, but I had another revelation about ABS and the stupidity of it. So do
Oh
you guys
no.
know it's a popular clip. Dodgers Braves and the playoffs when Walker Buehler's pitching to Ronald Acuna, his 3-0 count, he just stands there and takes the pitch, and the K zone on the broadcast shows it being like a foot high, and the ump calls it a strike.
Sure.
You seen that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched it live. I remember it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you that that pitch was 100% a strike because Acuna stood straight up the whole time. The thing is that the strike zone is established when the batter is ready to hit. So when you watch a batter walk into the box, like the strike zone, when they get into the box, the top of it's going to be like below the belt. But the strike zone is actually the midpoint between the top of the pants and the top of the shoulders. But that's when the guy is like, a lot lower in his batting stance. So if Acuna is just standing up straight and the ball comes in like where it did, that pitch was a strike. And that's a problem with ABS because our batters really like getting to the same exact height every single pitch. You know what I mean? And like, how
I
did
mean,
they?
they've swung a bat 10,000 times in their life. There's got to be some sort of consistency for all of these guys.
But
Just
like,
because,
what if the guy?
they're
No, they.
Major League Baseball hitters. They've probably done this more times than they've eaten dinner in their life.
But, but guys also make adjustments with their swings. That's like
Mm,
what is there a protocol for that? Did they like go back and get remeasured if they get a new batting stance?
mm.
You know, so
Hmm.
that's just another.
No, I see your reasoning here, and what I thought about off rip when you said that is like, what if I was a batter and like it's me? Imagine me hitting in an MLB game. If I
Right.
stand up, so
Hard
they've
to
got the
imagine.
ABS measurement for my zone. Yeah, it is. It's insane to imagine. If they do the ABS measurements from my zone and then I go up there and I just stand up straight on every at bat and they throw it in that part that was the strike zone for that Acuna situation, and then I can just challenge it and it's a ball high. Could I get walked?
Yeah.
Is this something that hitters could take advantage of? Obviously, I'm sure a pitcher could figure it out if it's some average Joe in the box. But like, if a hitter were to stand up and then a situation like that happens, you could see a hitter maybe take advantage of that. That's what I'm saying.
Have you
Yeah,
seen the
I
clip
mean,
of a league player where he like squats just to take a walk?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's stupid.
That coach should be
Yeah.
suspended.
Which also, if I were that ump, I would not let that
You
slide
just
because
call strike anyway.
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I would argue that the guy's not ready to hit, so that's not actually what the strike zone is. But anyway, that's a bit of a digression. But we've got some
Well,
action in baseball. What do you have
Wes, I
something?
will say quickly, out of how we always give you kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Just like we kind of criticize you on all your ABS takes. Like
Yeah.
this
I
one
think you're
was
wrong.
actually,
We think you're wrong.
I do agree. I still think it is good and like it is smart for like it makes sense in a way for the game of baseball and kind of adds a strategic layer like on top of everything else. But this was actually a pretty good point from you. So like
Mhm.
I cannot, as Angus said, like it is kind of an interesting way to think. Like, could this be something that we see batters take advantage of? Or is there something that ABS as a system itself can do to prevent this? Or have they already done something that they to do to prevent this that we don't know about? So
Yeah,
it's interesting.
same thing.
Yeah.
To the action, I maybe this is a little bit of bias as far as what's interesting to people, but I was going to the document today to put some stuff in, and we had the bullet points from last time we filmed a couple of weeks ago, and one of the MLB bullet points was Cubs are crazy good, and I just kind of sat there and just sighed, and I had it all highlighted to delete it, and I mean I'm not exaggerating. I probably sat there for a minute just looking at it,
Oh
just
my.
thinking like,
Wow. Wow.
wow, like back in the day when the Cubs were
Dude,
good.
it's May.
Back in the
They
day.
have lost 9 of 11, and the whole is broken.
Yikes.
PCA is just like going off the rails. I
You
mean,
you know what Seattle fans call that? August.
Yeah,
It's
welcome to the
August.
club. Like now you get to
Yeah.
feel our pain. The Mariners aren't that
yeah,
good. The Red Sox aren't that good. And now the Cubs aren't that good. So now we're like all in the
yeah.
same realm. So
I mean, they had every hitter in the lineup is in a slump. Every pitcher is injured. They didn't have a bullpen coming into the season, and now they really have no one out there. Can't even run the, can't even field. I mean, they had 3 errors in
No.
3 innings yesterday against the Brewers.
yeah,
Yeah.
truly like welcome to my world. Roman Anthony got hurt, Crochet got hurt, Sonny Gray got hurt, Ranger
Yeah, it's
Suarez got hurt. Some of those guys are bagged. I don't want to hear it, Angus. Like
I
we were
think that's a
just
reasonable thing to be disappointed in.
yeah, come on now. Come on.
I'd
But
like my
yeah,
the
I
four
mean,
best
Last time
players.
I checked, you weren't missing last year's real MVP due to injury.
is
Big
he injured
slump
now?
Yeah, he's on the IL.
as we heard in one of our meetings.
He's
Big
also hitting
Slumper is
like
now
he
injured.
was
Yeah, that's what I
probably
heard.
also hitting like 0.36 before that, but
Mhm.
whatever. There is one team that we should talk about, and obviously we want to talk about the Red Sox and the Mariners and the Cubs on this show. Something weird is going on at the Trop.
Oh my god.
The Rays are what 21-4 in their last 25, I think.
Something like
They're,
that.
I
Yeah.
they've got the best record in all of baseball, and they're doing it like the 2015 Royals did it. They're just putting balls in play and then just kind of creating chaos, and it's so fun to watch.
the I shame on me. I had no clue that the Rays were amazing. They're a half a game behind the Braves for the best
Mhm.
record in all baseball. That's just crazy to me.
Insane.
And it, baseball is a sport I think where, and this is also my fault for being a casual and not looking at the standings, but like where the media I think abandons small market teams more than in any other league. Like I
Mhm.
haven't seen a single thing about, oh, the Rays are really good this year, you know? And I feel like MLB has that problem worse than any other league. It's like it's the Dodgers, the Padres, Cubs, Red Sox, Yankees.
Mhm.
I
And
mean, I agree. I think you have a really good argument for that because I mean, like my Twitter feed instead of like, or my social media feed in general, instead of, oh, the Rays have the second best record in baseball. No one
No one is
expected them to
saying
be
that.
this good.
Mhm.
Yeah, no one
Yeah.
is saying that. Like, it's nowhere on my feed, but instead it's, oh, Shohei Ohtani hit a home run. And of course, I get Red Sox stuff because I follow the Red Sox and I engage with all that stuff. So that stuff doesn't really, like, that stuff
Yeah, that's
naturally just
obviously
pops
different.
off. But, like, I agree. The MLB and just kind of the
No,
media in general needs to talk about this more, because I think we've talked about this before, but this Rays team, if you look at that roster, like, they don't, other than Junior Caminero is great. He's really, really good. But other than that, like, who do they have? I don't know if I could
it's
name
like a
5
Brewers
players on that team.
situation.
Seriously, I don't think I
Well,
could name 5 players on
the
that team.
guy who has really shined to me, he was an all-star last year, but Jonathan Aranda.
Right.
He's
Yeah.
first baseman, and he's been a stud. And then you're getting Chandler Simpson going, and it's just like you've always kind of had this bug in the back of your mind. It's like Chandler Simpson could be a problem someday, and now it's kind of starting to pan out for him just because he's getting on base, and once he's
Right.
on base, look out. But the pitching is the thing that is the key for every team, but especially a team like this where maybe they don't score as many runs as the best offenses in the league. And, have the Rays had good pitching in recent years? No, not really. And now, they have good pitching and they have one of the best records in MLB.
And
So
I think,
Going off of that, let me ask you guys something.
hold
Have
on.
either you? Okay, yeah.
Before we get away from the Rays.
It was going to be on topic actually. But
Okay.
continue. You go first, then
Okay.
I'll go.
I think Kevin Cash
30 seconds.
deserves some credit because
Mhm.
I mean
Absolutely.
he had the one blunder in the World Series of taking out Blake Snell against the Dodgers, but other than that, across his career, he's done a lot with not very much on his rosters.
But
Yeah.
there's a reason the Rays are so always like, man, the Rays are good with nothing. It's like
Yeah.
it seems like I say that almost every year, every other year.
Yeah.
And did he make one of the biggest mistakes in World Series history, in my opinion? Yes.
Yeah.
But he's also just a really good baseball manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Buzzer beater, Xavier.
Oh,
Xavier, the
do
clock went off.
I have time?
Go for it. Whatever.
Okay.
We're not within the bounds of the
Of
2 to 3
low
window.
bill or big bill.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Have you guys ever heard of the pitcher Nick Martinez?
No.
No.
Didn't think so. He spent some time with the Rangers, then the Padres, then the Reds, and has been a career, 4 ERA pitcher. But for the Rays this year, he has started 9 games and has a 1.5 ERA.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring that up.
That's
I
pretty
think
good.
yeah. I mean,
I don't
that
want to
speaks to
violate
the
the
whole
rules of the show
pitching
too much,
staff.
but that is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like, that speaks to the whole pitching staff. That speaks to the head coaching staff.
You're gonna get teed up here, Xavier.
Hey, I was just tying a knot on it. Finish up the point.
Hey, Talking Snakes isn't waiting outside, Wesley. We're good.
Okay.
Shout out Talking Snakes.
Great show. Tune in.
Who
I
think is the show behind us. That's the name of it, right?
Is that true?
don't know the name of it, but I know the guy's a big D-backs fan, so that makes sense.
That would make sense.
Yeah. That would make sense.
How about the D-backs the other night walking it off in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs? All right. So yeah. Fair enough.
That's
all right. Fourth quarter time. Yeah.
We should have talked about it. Okay,
about the D-backs. Anyway, fourth quarter.
You are the host.
That was Weston's fault. Don't even get me for that. Anyway,
that's my first.
College football playoff, kind of just like the NCAA tournament in basketball, also talking about an expansion. There was a proposal to expand to 24 teams, and there are some conferences that are on board and some that aren't on board. But, what do you guys think of kind of the expansion?
Stupid.
Stupid. Okay. Thank you, Wesley. I grew up in an FCS state, so I've kind of just the 2014 playoff has kind of just become a part of the playoffs for me. Like that's what I watch more of. So I think I have a unique viewpoint on this in the sense that I'm not fully against it, but when you really read between the lines on this, it's the same thing as expanding the NCAA tournament. The Big Ten and the SEC and the whatever, they want more money. and so they want their worst teams to get in. And is it well intentioned? No, but do I think it would be a horrible choice? Also, no, because I've watched more FCS playoffs than I can count, and especially this past year was a perfect example. You had like the perfect amount of upsets, and you obviously had Illinois State go on this insane run,
Mm,
and
mm,
you're not getting that in a 12 team or a 4 team. That's just not
right.
happening. So
Uh,
I don't think it's
who
all bad, but it's also
It's
not great. It's not for the right reasons.
it's an
wait, who
interesting.
won? Who won the
Okay.
FCS playoffs again?
I am so glad you asked. I really am. And for that reason, I'll be wearing this for the rest of the show.
And Wes has walked out of the call completely. So I guess
All
I'll
right, we
keep
can do the show
talking.
without him.
Okay.
Yes, Wes,
As
continue.
I'm gonna get away from the childish behavior of my co-host here. So the Big Ten, the ACC, and the Big 12 and Notre Dame are all on board. It's the SEC that's not sure, is still trying to decide. And I believe SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey has said that he wants to just keep it at 16, not keep it, but expand to 16. And there's some other people in the SEC thinking about 24. I mean, it's just like a money grab, and it's also a um, just for the programs. I mean, Brett Bielema, head coach at Illinois, had a rare L when he said he wants to include, quote, as many teams as humanly possible.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Sounds like a
that's
guy
just
with Bobby Houck on staff.
okay. It's
Sounds like a very
like
grisly thing to
I
say.
get the coaches because the thing is Illinois has missed the playoff a few times in recent years where they were good but not quite good enough. Like last year, they were a potential playoff team, and then they really fell apart toward the end of the season. A couple years before that, but and obviously 2 years ago when they had the game against South Carolina, that was probably the best college football game I've ever watched. But it's like, of
Son,
course,
Shane Beamer.
yep. But of course, teams that just miss a playoff are going to be like, "Oh, expand it and we'll make the playoff." But I don't
Right.
think that's a valid reason to expand. It's just because these teams have missed it and they want a better shot. Because to me, I think FBS football is a sport where like there aren't even 12 teams, honestly, that have a realistic shot at winning the national championship. So to double that, you're just and I've seen this argument before. I'm definitely glad they expanded it from four because four was ridiculous. But the argument was like, don't expand it because people say, you know, like these teams aren't going to have a shot at winning the national championship, but just let them play the games just because it'll be good to have the games. It's like that's just a bowl game. These are just
Right.
glorified bowl games when it's teams playing in the first round of the playoff when they have no shot at winning the national championship.
I mean, sure. I was gonna bring up kind of that point of the 4 team playoff as well. Like there's I guess the aspect of the 4 team playoff, excuse me, that has like, oh, it's ultra competitive, like anyone could win it. Sure. But I think I totally agree. It was the right move going to the 12 because and then going to the 16 as well.
Well, they
Um
had, but
well, but like if they go
yeah,
to the 16, that is. But I think 16 would be good. 12 was good. We saw 12. I thought it was pretty good. There is definitely, to your point, Wes, there is definitely this kind of gap, especially with NIL in college football being so apparent. Like, there's always going to be, I think, 4, 5, 6 programs that are just so far above everyone else,
yeah,
and a lot of years,
sorry,
Texas Tech.
that's on my
No,
throat. Sorry.
you say Texas Tech.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, true. They could be really
but
good.
Kentucky did it too, though,
Yeah,
in any sport.
It's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
Not
ASU will find a
football,
way.
not men's basketball, not
ASU
softball.
finds a way. Not women's tennis.
Oh, everybody's
Yeah,
thinking about
yeah. We'll
Uh,
count that.
that. Oh, we'll
yeah,
throw it.
exactly. Shout
Okay,
out women's
I will.
tennis.
I
Wait.
want to
I
know.
wasn't done. Wait, let me
Fine.
finish
Okay.
my point. Let me finish my point. Anyway, we got sidetracked. But is always going to be those top teams that don't give me that face that have
Well,
those that
Well,
skill gap. The Ohio States, the Georgias, the Alabamas, right? Those teams that will be so much better than everyone else. But I think the 16 and the 12 would be good because there is the realm of possibilities for upsets. Like it's possible. It still has that competitiveness, but I think going to 24, you would lose that competitiveness a little bit. You know, you would have these first round matchups that, as Wes said, would be super glorified bowl games. Because if you throw Ohio State up against some bottom Big 12 school or some low ranked seed, like Ohio State's going to kill them. Like,
Yeah.
Hey,
it's not,
I want to
it's
go
not
back to
fun.
what both
No
of you
one is
said
going to
now,
want to watch
actually.
that.
So
Yeah.
first of all, I want to go to Wesley. You said that those first round games would be glorified bowl games. So are you saying that Illinois State versus Southeast Louisiana in the first round of the FCS playoffs was a glorified bowl game this year?
I mean, I think FCS is just different than FBS. When you get into, and
It's not. There's been what, like 5 teams to win the national championship in the last 15 years.
yeah.
Sure.
That's the exact same thing that FBS is dealing with. And yet
I
the
mean,
FCS has 24 and it works perfectly
but
for them.
how, like, it was like the first time ever, maybe that not quite, but that an unseeded team made it to the national championship. Like, are we gonna ruin the playoff every single year for one Cinderella story every century?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from on that, but like what Xavier said, like yeah, sure, Ohio State probably beats, you know, who's a good example team here.
I mean, like last,
Illinois.
I
Ohio State
agree.
probably beats
I agree.
Illinois 95 times out of 100 on
Yeah.
like a neutral site, let alone in Columbus. But like, North Dakota State probably beats Illinois State 99 out of 100 times in Fargo. That's kind of how the way you have to look at this is like they're they're gunning for more upsets. And like as a college basketball guy and also as someone who grew up in, staunch FCS country, I'm not fully against it, but I do agree that it's kind of a cash grab. It's just that I don't think the minds of everyone are in the right place. And maybe that's just because I think they ruined March Madness, but I don't think it's for the right reasons. But I also don't think it would be as bad as people on social media or maybe you two think it
Yeah.
would be. I feel like it wouldn't like kill the sport like maybe 76 teams is going to do.
Right.
I
And I will say, though, something I think as well in terms of the college
not
football
competitive.
playoff, but something I will say is like, why are you rushing this? It has been
Yeah,
2 years of the
yeah.
12-team playoff. Like, give it a little bit. Like, let,
Mhm.
the 12-team playoff play out a bit. Like, see how it works. If it doesn't work, sure, expand it a little bit. But you literally just started the 12-team playoff. There's no reason to keep pushing and pushing and pushing for more teams right away. This can be a
Oh, well, there
slow
is there is a
process.
reason. There is
Money,
a
There is,
reason.
but
money.
I mean, it's a money grab.
Yeah.
Like, I think they need to,
Mhm.
like, think
Just
about it from a, kind of
this is
perspective of,
okay. This is just a college athletics issue of like
Yeah,
we
it
need
is.
to get the money out of the game because it's getting
right.
egregious.
Mhm.
How much that just dictates everything. And I mean, maybe it's like, welcome to the, real capitalist world. But like, it wasn't this way until 7 years ago, or
Right.
whenever it was, the NIL became so big. I don't, but I don't think that
You got
16
10.
teams would be as much of a travesty as 24. But I still think it wouldn't be great because like last year you had James Madison in Tulane in Miami. None of those teams were going to do anything. And I think it's just kind of
Miami, you mean the team that was in the national championship?
okay, yeah, maybe not Miami. That's a bad example, but
True.
Tulane and JMU really like there's no
True.
point to that
They were good teams, though. They were very good teams. They were great in their
until
conference.
they
They both
ran
won their
into.
conference.
I mean, until they ran into the teams in the playoff.
I mean, I agree. I think that's why they should, at
Okay,
least
got it.
wait to think about the 24.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Um, well, the beauty of this is that we can all have a minute for overtime just because we have
Great.
no bounds. This is awesome.
I know it is.
Who wants to go first today? I know it's not me because I'm gonna be honest, I have nothing right now.
Xavier, you got it.
Oh, God. Okay. Well,
I
I
can
don't,
go actually if you're not ready.
yeah, I would love if you, I have no idea what I want to talk about.
Wesley, you going?
Yeah,
Okay. Stoneball, 1 minute starts now.
Craig Counsell said that he is not going to sit PCA, and I think that's just a dumb decision. He needs to rest a game or two, and it's not a punishment, but like his head is not right, and he's even kind of talked about that in interviews. Whether it's the incident with the woman and like that alone, I don't think you need to sit him for. But when you see the way he plays and like him dropping a fly ball that hits him, and then him missing a ground ball in the outfield, it's like when you see those things combined with that, it's like clearly he's not in the right headspace. And I mean, an off day today for the Cubs. Hopefully that helps. But I really think I don't have any doubt in his future as a player. But like right now, he is struggling and he needs a breather. Wow, I got a lot of time left. Uh, but I mean, I'm not worried about him long term. It's just with the way he and the whole team. I mean, it's contagious because the whole team is just in a terrible slump.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be like that, but I mean, you have a point. He's a great player. Like, I think he will need rest, but he's a great player.
I think the off day will help.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. I'm ready
All right,
now.
David, are you ready?
I thought of
Okay.
something. Yeah.
Okay, Maserati, 1 minute now.
All right, I want to talk about something big happening in the world of the NBA. So recently, Jaylen Brown has taken to Twitch. He has done many Twitch live streams, and he just talked about the Cubs. I don't want to hear it. So he has done many Twitch live streams, all of that, right? You know, calling out Stephen A. Smith, calling out the refs, whatever you will. In my opinion, no. Like he needs to, I think it was just a bad idea going at the media, especially, you know, one of the best journalists in Stephen A. Smith, you know, and the highest paid ESPN journalist there is.
I'll let you finish, but I got a question.
Hold on. Okay. No,
Yeah, please.
hold on. Clock stopped.
Oh, wow. First time ever.
Okay. Clock's up.
No,
Okay.
that's Bush League from you, Wesley.
Wait. Let me, if there's 16 seconds left, let me finish the point and then we'll.
Okay.
I didn't like that. All right, 16 seconds. Go.
But anyway, there's been so many people in the Celtics organization, former Celtics players that have, you know, reached out to Kendrick Perkins, who also was involved in this whole dilemma in a way, that have texted saying, you know, that they don't agree with Jaylen Brown. So to me, it looks like Jaylen Brown might get traded.
Wow.
Ooh.
Traded. That's a big statement.
Wow.
I truly think, you know, following all of this, like looking at the Celtics stuff, you know, see it pop on my feed, all that, I think there's a chance because, you know, there might be some people even in the organization, in the Celtics organization, that don't agree what Jaylen Brown is doing, you know, calling out media, calling out the refs, that they're not going to like that. And it's going to make them likely to maybe trade him in a package for Giannis, perhaps.
Okay.
That is way out of hand. Have you guys not heard about this? Genuinely, that is something that's being talked about in Boston media, that the Celtics are going to go after Giannis. So
okay. Yeah, in Chicago media, they talked about Giannis to the Bulls, and look how that turned out.
That is not happening. The Bulls are not good enough for that. So.
Okay. Remind me what the Twitch situation was. I think I saw a clip, but I forget what he said.
So there was a couple about Stephen A. You said?
Yeah.
So basically, he was on Twitch and was just kind of dissing on Stephen A. He was saying how, like, you know, Stephen A. uses clickbait. He's trying to like push his narrative, and like there isn't any real journalism anymore in like this kind of world that's, as you know, targeted at Stephen A. There's a very kind of infamous, I guess, quote of him saying F Stephen A. And then he said, you know, like Stephen B, Stephen C, as like, you know, kind of a joke on, you know, his nickname. Yeah, right. Riveting. I know. But so that was the whole thing. And then Stephen A. kind of shot back and said how, like, if Jaylen Brown wants real media, like he can do that. But, you know, how Jaylen Brown didn't want him to do that because Stephen A. has sources in the organization. You know, he could have clearly, you know, he has some information on the situation that it sounded like he didn't want Jaylen Brown to hear.
I mean, I think Jaylen Brown has somewhat of a point in that, like, Stephen A. has said some outlandish things just to get engagement. And he's not alone. But, like, I do think that's an issue in media today. It's just an engagement, right? Like, you know, clickbait or engagement farming. Like there are, and it's not. I said it's not just Stephen A, but there are a lot of people who just say crazy things that they don't believe about sports just to get people to interact.
I
Um,
agree, but
okay, hold on. I want to say it's a Twitch stream. Like if he was, in a post game presser, maybe he shouldn't be saying this. But when he's just he's like probably playing some video game, right? Like on Twitch.
I think he was
Like,
just saying it
oh,
like
he was just
literally on a live
not live
stream. Yeah.
for that purpose.
Yeah.
But if it's his own personal media, I think you should not be that worried about it. Like, you know what I mean? He doesn't need to act media trained on Twitch.
I
And
agree.
Josh should probably ask me to train on IG Live.
I
Like
agree.
there's still a line.
Right.
I
Yeah.
just
It's
don't think
just
Jalen
not
Brown really crossed it that badly.
he didn't. It's just he didn't really cross the line. I'm not saying he did something terrible, like, oh, because of this, he's gonna get traded. I think there was a chance he was gonna get traded before this all happened, truly. And there is some stuff that, he said that I do believe, like, oh, he didn't really like mean it that way, and the media kind of blew out of proportion. For example, if you saw the comment he made where he said, this was his favorite season, I think they have a point with that he shouldn't have said that necessarily because they got first rounded and his star teammate was out the whole season. So sure, there's a point there,
Yeah.
but also like it was his best playing season of his career. So like he's allowed to say that. But
Yeah.
in terms of your point, just kind of last thing, then we can get to Angus's minute and wrap up. But in terms of your point about like the media, I will agree that there is this tendency that has become a thing to kind of get engagement, shape engagement to a take. You want to get engagement by saying something, specific because it will do well on the internet, will do well on a show, right? I think that can be true, but at the same time, it's part of the job because whether it's radio, whether it's TV, right? Part of the job is being able to retain your viewers, be able to get new viewers. Like that's part of the job. Like you have to be able to attract new viewers, get viewership, like, and keep people listening. So
Yeah, I know you got to make a living somehow, but I also think you can keep your scruples while doing it.
I agree. I mean, it's kind of a
Yeah.
double-edged sword in a way, but
Yeah.
I
anyway,
have had
should
some
we get
time to
on to?
prepare.
Yeah, really though.
Yeah, I kind of sat out of that one. I'm still not feeling great about this, but my 1 minute will start right now. So this one's a two-parter. First of all, Colt Emerson, the number one prospect in the Mariners farm, is up, and he's shown some of what you see out of prospects sometimes. But I wanted to talk about a moment he had in the first game of the White Sox series. Mariners are up 3-1. He blows it open with a 3-run homer in the eighth, and for a season that has kind of felt disappointing for a lot of Mariners fans, it was so good to see a moment like that for Colt Emerson. And, the future is very bright with him and he'll figure it out, I'm sure. But that was just like my favorite thing that happened over our break. So I just wanted to shout it out because it was a great moment. He's going to be awesome. My second thing, I've only got 15 seconds left, but the Jazz have the number 2 pick in the 2026 NBA draft, and they cannot screw that up. If AJ DeBonta is there, which he probably won't be, you got to take him. And if he isn't there, which is very likely, it can't be like Caleb Wilson or something like that. You can't overthink it. You got to go Darren Peterson.
Really?
I think
Yeah,
so.
I
I
agree.
mean,
I mean,
Is he good enough to overlook everything else?
scheme fit, he's better than a guy like Boozer, just because the Jazz are kind of loaded on those bigs. Also, sorry, sun went down. I'm not really in a good spot lighting wise. Looks like I'm in the
Yeah.
ring right now. What happened? The
It
sun
looked like
went down.
when the lights went out at Rate Field. Like the Undertaker was coming.
Sunset happened, Wesley. But I
so the
also just
sun.
In
talent
like
wise,
1
I
second.
mean, it
Okay.
goes down. We have mountains. You know,
Yeah, we don't have those in
it just
Illinois.
goes away. It just goes away here.
Clearly.
We talent wise, I mean, he's better than Boozer. Maybe you could make an argument that Caleb Wilson's a little more talented than Darren Peterson, but I think Darren Peterson can take over a game better. And that takeover gene goes a long way in the NBA, in my opinion. And so that's why I think Peterson is a pretty clear-cut 1-2. And that's why, DeBonta isn't there. Obviously, that's ideal. But if he isn't there, go DP.
I was gonna say, in my opinion, DeBonsta and Peterson are kind of like 1A, 1B. And you could throw Bruiser in there too. Bruiser's obviously great, but those two are kind of been talked about all year, like, oh, who's gonna go one, DeBonsta or Peterson? I think it should have always been DeBonsta, but
Bulls at 4, pretty much a lock at this point.
who?
Caleb Wilson. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say it's a lock. I could see a world where Memphis goes Wilson at 3, and then the Bulls get Boozer. The Bulls, you can't go wrong with that pick, because not only do you get one of those 4 guys, but it's also free of pressure. You just get whoever's left.
Yeah.
And so it makes your job really easy as a front office. But the Bulls
Good thing for them, because
the
it's
Bulls
been
have done worse.
Yeah.
So we'll see
Patrick
if they
Williams
can make a wide open layup.
Yeah.
Or if Andre Drummond will come behind Torrey Craig and try to dunk it, and they'll both miss.
I will say this is a very good
time on
NBA draft.
But
true. I know we got a little carried away in our overtime segment today. Maybe we could call it double overtime, basically.
It was
right?
so fun, though. Yeah, double overtime. Thunder Spurs reference.
Yep, Thunder Spurs reference right there. There you go.
There we go.
But anyway, thank you all.
The game goes into 5 overtimes.
Oh, geez, just like Columbus
Blue
Jackets and Tampa Bay Lightning a couple years ago. There you go.
Nice.
All knowledge. Anyway,
nice.
Thank you all for joining us on episode 1 of basically the new season. Episode 16 overall, but episode 1 of our kind of remote / Zoom season here on Out of Timeouts. For Wesley Stombaugh and Angus Trangmo, I'm Xavier Maserati. Have a good night, y'all.
Go Bobcats.